Welcome back. Our next guest speaker from Zambia. I'm happy to have this opportunity to hear from her. And I guess you too are going to be inspired once again. Welcome back to the second session. Our speaker from Zambia, Kungomsa Mini Mkungo. I hope I pronounced it well. Please, you can, yes, yeah, we can have the camera on. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us from Zambia. We hope that you are fine there in Zambia. And before we have you speak, let me say something small about you. I'm glad that you're able to join us. I hope that you don't have any issues with the sound. Kungomsa, I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Mini Mkungo. That's how you pronounce it?
Yes, that's close enough.
Yeah. Is a human resource professional, employee relations specialist, and lay counselor. She currently holds the position of employee relations manager, which includes general human resource management counseling in the workplace. This has proven to be quite an unexpected, exciting venture over the past 2 years as they found the employee relation management space faced with different challenges. Why? We can all remember what happened the last 2 years. So we know that at the workplace, it was crazy because then people had to make different choices, different decisions. And I think this is where HR was tested, whether they were fit for their job. Being able to think and make decisions on their feet became the order of the day. Wow. Her short-term aspiration to complete a postgraduate studies enrolled in July 2021 and successfully completed first semester so that she gains, my throat is drying. Yeah. So that she gains management expertise that together with 10 years human resource and management experience from various sectors, including the IT, manufacturing, and currently sales and merchandising, will enable our growth and progression into corporate management. The successful completion of this first semester of the postgraduate diploma in business administration in December 2021 is our latest achievement and accomplishment. She believes in celebrating every milestone, every step achieved towards her goals. The first question I would like to ask, because I can see there's something there you end saying, like your goals. What exactly are your goals?
Before I answer your question, I'm going to get into it shortly, Winnie. I need to make one correction. I'm from South Africa, not Zambia.
Okay. Where did I get that? I think we had that somewhere in our feature, yeah?
I'm not sure. Okay. But
sorry,
I'm from, no problem. No, absolutely no problem. I'm from South Africa, Johannesburg. So my short-term goals, I like making a differentiation of the goals. My short-term goals currently are to establish, alongside my 8-to-5 career, establish.
Oh, you're frozen. I hope you won't get kicked out. No.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, now you're okay.
Okay. So it is to establish that lay counseling practice, formalize it. I believe I still have time. And I have the energy and the drive to drive both that practice and my HR career.
I believe that what I have read really clearly states that you're already the counselor. So why are you putting a limit to yourself? You're already one.
Okay, maybe it's because I want to achieve more in the field. I'm already one, but I want to achieve more in that field. It's actually my main passion. It's what drew me towards HR. It's dealing with people issues.
Okay. Now, when we go back, maybe earlier when you were younger, is it something that you wanted to do?
Actually not, it wasn't. When I was younger, as young as the beginning of high school, I was convinced that I was going to be an accountant post high school.
What happened that changed that direction?
It was how older people, peers were drawn to me naturally. I found myself naturally in the space where people were looking for advice from me. And what used to amaze me was that it wasn't necessarily limited to age. I've always been the youngest among my peers most of the time. And when we talk, we'd also be amazed when reflecting that they're listening to me, and yet I'm actually the youngest. And so also life's experiences, which is another thing that I liked about what Ruth was talking about when she spoke. She identified a space where she took action and became part of the solution in a problem that she was growing up in. I really liked that from Ruth's session just now. So that I found myself having to face such and come up with solutions that sometimes affected me. And I needed to be the one to come up with a solution. Okay, maybe not in the economical sense of the word, but more people relation, people wellness, their mental state is what I found myself in. And I actually enjoyed it. I loved it.
So it's naturally came to you that you are offering solution to the issues that people were facing, and that's why they were drawn to you, and you just did it naturally?
Yes, initially, yes, it was natural because I had not had any training per se. And because I knew I don't have training, and I had always had this doubt at the back of my mind that probably not much experience in terms of life experience, I would always be forthcoming with that information, that this is my opinion currently after having thought about it. And I'm not saying this is the end and be all, but how about this, that, and the other? So that came before the actual studying, because what I actually went and enrolled for at varsity was a BA in psychology.
And what helped you, because you mentioned something that you didn't have the experience, you didn't have the training. What helped you get convinced that whatever it is that you are offering will be of help to somebody? And yet you had that element, like, I didn't study this, I don't have the qualification.
Authenticity, Winnie, being authentic, not offering textbook advice or being an idealist, because every person's situation is never the same. And the ability to listen to exactly what it is that is bothering the person, both the said and the unsaid, so the implied as well, take that into consideration and then ask for clarity. That's something that helped me offer what I could be assured that it is authentic, real, and will be effective advice.
Don't you think part of what was in play here was self-belief in what you had to offer, that it was going to be a solution to the problem?
I actually think so, very much so. If I look back, even my siblings would often comment that if there's one thing they know about me is I never lacked confidence, even as a child. And for that, I have my mother to thank. She was always my biggest fan, always thought I could do so much. And sometimes it amazed me I would come back from school with marks and she'd be like, I knew it. I absolutely knew it. This is why, and I thought, how did the woman know? But she knew. So because from an early age, she believed I could come up with a solution. She had so much faith in me. So that helped. It did. The confidence helped.
The confidence from your mother being your cheerleader, she believed in you, helped you believe in yourself even more. And that helped you to offer solutions to others. And the more you offered, the more confident you became, and the more reason you saw that maybe this is what I'm meant to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, yeah. So what then made you sort of combine the counseling and HR? Because it's like you're doing the two side by side.
So when I got to Johannesburg, I'm originally from a province called the Eastern Cape. It's largely rural. That's where I come from within South Africa. So when I got to Johannesburg, my first full-time job was a clerical job. And I met with a colleague. Well, she was senior to me at the time, but we connected. We spent a lot of time together. She was in a management development program. We parted ways, went to work for different companies. And when she was appointed at her workplace as an HR manager, she immediately called me up and said, I don't see anyone else who can work with me in building this HR department except you. So I took the opportunity. It was better in terms of what it offered, and I took the opportunity, and I loved and enjoyed HR, mainly because the way I was introduced to it by this friend of mine was people-centered, which is, yes, it was more of a people-centered approach, which is how I've been going about it, which is actually what I think it's supposed to be. So I enjoyed it. I then took extra courses on the side just to make sure that I have at least the certification to continue in this line. So that's how I came into the HR space.
When your friend invited you to do something you had not done, what did it inform you about you?
Being multi-talented, or yes, multi-abled, multi-talented. This is something I've discovered along the way, that yes, even now I'm in HR, but the ability to diversify is still there. And it leads me to think, and even when I'm talking to myself, which I do often, to remind myself that there is just so much to explore, so much to find out, so much to delve into, and not limit myself.
So you shouldn't limit yourself. And you've seen that by, you mentioned that you've worked in other industries.
Yeah.
Did that give you the exposure to see your potential? You are in IT, manufacturing, and now you're in sales. Did that inform you that the potential you have is a lot, and maybe you have not fully utilized or unleashed that potential? In fact,
definitely.
When I see you mentioned that you're still looking to go into management, and seeing what you have done is enough to convince me you're already in management, making those decisions.
Absolutely. I think one of the most challenging sectors that I've been in was security, working with security guards in the security space. That has to have been the most challenging one, because it was completely new. And there are a whole lot of regulations you have to acquaint yourself with, different from your normal manufacturing legislation that applies in such industries. So, but even then, it didn't take me long to find my footing. I must say, like I say, when I have these conversations, one-on-one, Kungomsa to Kungomsa conversations, I'd always give myself a pat on the back that, wow, okay, in fact, it still is. It is a largely male-dominated field, and me being female among the management of the company at the time really got a lot of males feeling quite uncomfortable about it. I was not there to entertain their comfort. However, I learned what I needed to learn, even from them, and then used it and combined it with my experience and my knowledge that I already had. I think that tenure, it was my shortest in that industry, but I learned so much because there was just so much pressure to make sure that I get it right.
Can you share from your experience, especially on this being something that you found was the most challenging? What was challenging? And mention one or two things.
Okay, firstly, the legislation that governs HR under general is the same across sectors in the largest part of it. Within the industry, security industry, there are slight differences, mainly because of the hours they work, the conditions, and also the stability in terms of the companies themselves. I don't know if you've been able to observe, but the security companies change all the time. Even in your neighborhood, you might have noticed that every now and again there's a new security. Yes. So such things bring about instability and cause you as the HR professional managing the function to feel a bit insecure. So if you are feeling insecure, it is very hard to motivate and impart a feeling of security to the people who report to you and who look to you for guidance. So that was my biggest challenge, to manage my own perceptions of the situation, is bringing to speed the employees, however, also protecting and making sure that the company keeps running, because all of that forms part of HR. I don't know if you get this picture that I'm trying to paint. Yeah.
Yes. That's actually the experience. They keep changing. They have new guards. They keep changing all the time. Yes, that's really we notice. The thing is, being a male-dominated field, what was your first challenge? Like, you're getting into this, it's an unfamiliar ground. You are not sure. And I'm sure maybe you felt like, do I really have to do this? But somehow you told yourself and convinced yourself, I should do. You weren't scared. Where did you get courage? Why did you decide to move on and still step into the shoes?
I was scared. I'll admit I was scared. I might not have shown it. I have the advantage of being able to present a poker face. But I know I was terrified. However, what actually motivated me to keep going was that just because I'm scared, and most of the time we are scared of something that we don't know, that I was well aware of. Exactly. If we are unfamiliar with something, then we're scared. So what I set out to do was to literally familiarize myself with all that was unfamiliar to me about the industry and the company that I was in. So that helped me a lot.
Just pause there. Familiarize yourself with what you are unfamiliar with. Because we are scared when we don't know. So get to know what you don't know. So if you're taking notes, please, that is one highlight that can help you to stop being afraid of whatever it is that you're afraid. Sorry, I had to repeat that in case somebody was listening and they missed the point. You can go on.
So yes, I made it. So I was working and in school, so to speak, because I was absorbing on a daily basis. And Obviously, that includes asking, which includes allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Now,
okay, number 2, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I think this is one big highlight, because sometimes we are afraid to ask, thinking that when you ask, you are stupid. But when you ask, you don't know, you learn. When you learn, you can't go to the same state as you were before. So ask, be vulnerable, because that's what you are afraid of, to ask. Yes, number 3.
So that helped me a lot. It involved a whole big risk. Like I said, the industry is male dominated, and people know that you don't have much experience in this industry. So already they are waiting to see you fail. And being a new person in a company, you don't know who is safe to ask or not. However, you do ask. And no matter how much belittlement you get, you move on, because now you've gained the knowledge, just like you said, Winnie. And then I chose to embrace the fact that I can't change the fact that I'm a woman, and the fact that it's male dominated is something that I can't change, but I'm not going to try and pretend that I'm not a woman. In all, and in the wholeness of being a woman in the workplace. So if I'm a woman and a mom, so if my child is sick, I'm not afraid to call in and say, I'm running late today because I need to take my child to the doctor, you know?
Yes. I think that's
such
very,
things.
very important point there. Let's not miss that. Accepting who you are. Because at times we're trying to be who we are not, and then it becomes complicated. But by accepting that you are a woman and saying, I will work, I'll still be the woman in the field where there are men only, then it allowed you to deliver and do your work as you're supposed to do, and still remain the mother of the children. Yes, go on.
Yes. And so all that I do summarize as being authentically you, because there's no facade. You don't have to keep up faces. You don't have to remember who you said you were. You are just being you. And then you can focus on the learning part, the actual implementation of what you intend to implement, on all the processes and strategies that you are working on. Then you actually focus on what is important when you approach it that way.
Wow, that is so much learning. That is so much learning. And I believe that if you're missing the points, then there's no one who can help you to learn that you'll get into fields where you feel you don't know. She got into a field she didn't know. She got into a field which was not a field that she expected to find other women, and she still allowed herself to learn. She still allowed herself to ask questions so that she can fit and know what to do, because she's supposed to do something about it, because it was a new field. And sometimes in life, you are faced with such situations where you find yourself in a new field and you don't know what to do. Here, she has offered her experience of what she did. And you too can take that and borrow from what she did. Yes, you're saying something.
No, I think I'm done with answering that question.
Yes. And you experienced a lot of unexpected things during the lockdown. What are some of the things that really were a challenge as an HR? What are some of the things that you had to now bring in new perspective, given that the entire planet, we didn't have like that new perspective?
So when lockdown and COVID hit us, I'm currently in the sales and merchandising space and working for a company that works with pharmaceuticals. So we did not close down. Instead, our employees had to be there. And us navigating, and remember, no one knew anything about COVID. So us being HR, we had to be the people that offer support, minimize the fear that it brought on. Wow. So that, and that was a big challenge, because we ourselves did not know. It's one thing to tell a new employee to no, be comfortable. In about 3 weeks, you'll know what to do. But it's another to tell a person who still wants to work because they have to maintain their families and keep their livelihoods, their source of livelihoods. Yeah. But at the same time, they are fearing for their lives because they don't know. They don't know that going to work will get them infected. They don't know how to avoid being infected because this was airborne. So it's kind of impossible to avoid. And they have to be there to provide these services that the general public needs because we couldn't close down pharmacies. So you had to be a sort of like a parent because as a parent, you don't know anything about parenting when you start. However, you have to be there, back up your children, tell them that it's going to be okay, whereas you really don't know if it's going to be okay. You know? Yes, and let's take the necessary precautions. Let's not panic. I think within the first 3 months of the lockdown, the messages, emails, all kinds of messages we had to open up, whether it's private or for work, because people needed the constant reassurance, the constant presence of the employer so that they don't feel that the employer is now only looking after themselves. As management, you're only just looking after your own interests because you can work from home, and us as those who have to be in the field, we can't be working from home, so management doesn't care. So we had to be available in ways that we hadn't been available before. It went further.
That was really a challenge, and for you have to be the inspiration because most of the workers are supposed to follow what they're saying from management, and it can be a challenging because now you are telling them to do one thing and you are doing another thing. That was not going to work, and especially if you have to get these people to reach out to the people that they need to serve. Again, this is a service you're providing and everyone needs it. You can't be away from it. That's so interesting. So you have to make different decisions, different things, and you have to test and try and apply. There's no time and room for any waiting. You have to do all these things. Wow. Yeah, I see why you said you had to think on the foot and just make decisions there and then. That's interesting. Tell us a bit about working in the different industries. Has that challenged or has it added to your experience? What was exciting about moving from one industry to another?
It definitely has. What I've picked up from learning from changing industries and sectors is that there are no wasted experiences. Just because one person has admin or clerical knowledge in a certain field doesn't make them less knowledgeable. There are no, that's what I've learned, there are no wasted experiences. And so whatever I have experienced in one industry, it becomes useful in another one, a completely different one, especially when you are dealing with people. So changing industries and sectors has helped in that I have been able to learn. I'm like a sponge. I love learning. It drives me. If I'm able to pick up something new, I thrive in that environment. Yeah.
Wow, that's so much true, because they say that whatever you learn can never go wasted in life. So it doesn't matter. Anywhere you go, you will learn, even if it's one thing. That one thing could change the next thing in your life. They call them the connecting points. You never know what you need for the next level. So at whatever level you are, whatever you are learning is what is needed for the next level. So the more you can learn, the better for you. And assuming and saying that in the next few months, you are going to be stepping into management, because when I listen and when I hear you are dealing with people, organizations are about people, leadership is about people. If you can get these people and inspire them to do what they imagine they can't do, then you're already in leadership. What's holding you back? Like, why are we reading that you hope? You're already in management. You're already doing the managerial work.
It's true. It's true. When I am already in management, I'm already doing managerial work. I just have this, I don't know if I can call it an obsession or a love. I have the love of formalizing my qualifications, which is what I really mean by it being a formal qualification. I value experience and everything, but unfortunately, the reality of the situation is having the qualification as a backing is always handy when you are introducing yourself in a room or in a field or in a new sector. So yes, I am already functioning as a manager. I think my boss wouldn't like it if I wouldn't call myself a manager. I'm functioning as such.
Definitely for me, I'm like, where is the minus here? And again, I want to emphasize, most of the times it's not the qualifications doing the work, it's you.
Yeah.
And if you've delivered in these places, you will still deliver. Because at the end of the day, it is the results that you're producing that will speak. You could have a PhD and still not deliver. So if you are delivering now, you're already there. And it's good for you to start removing the limits you're putting to yourself, because maybe the job has been staring at you. But because you say they must have the qualification, the job keeps evading you. And it's already there somewhere. I don't know, but I want to believe it's already there. Because whatever limits we put to ourselves, they affect what we receive and what we attract. So you're already in managerial. Allow yourself to be there. You can still study while you are there. You can still study and get that qualification if you feel it's a must. But I believe you're already giving the results that that are needed in your organization. You're already working with people and inspiring them to do things that they otherwise not do, because that is what is all about management, getting results. And if you're already getting results, and you get results through people, you don't do everything in the organization. You inspire others to do those things. If you can get those people inspired in a way that they will do what is required to be done, you're already in management. So let's allow yourself to stop limiting yourself, allow it to come into your life. And once it is there, you can still go do your qualifications. In the meantime, you'll still be giving the results. You will find that even in management, most of the time, they will say, like, when you are working, the experience really adds a lot of value when you're studying. So allow yourself to reach that level and allow it to happen into your life. And I believe maybe that is also playing a part in terms of this, you want to do something, counseling, and you want it to happen to your life. But because you're saying, I don't have this management, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I need the qualification. None of that should be in the place. You're already solving the problem years before you even went to study anything. And no one called you a professor or anything. But you are a professor and giving those people solutions. And they were helped. Because in this life, it is the results that are very important. And these people are getting the results they need to solve the problems they've been having. You have no idea how much it means to them. I know you think it's something small, but it means really a lot. So for me,
thank you for that confirmation.
Yes, you're already in that place, and you're already in that space. Please just let it be. Just stop limiting yourself and stop holding that position because of the qualification. Let it come. If you want to study while you're working, and it will be the best thing you'll have done into your life, it will happen. You'll even get more qualifications and you'll get more opportunities to learn. Not even learning, get the qualifications, go for even coaching and things. They'll just come. Because sometimes you have to be in that place, like, let it flow in your life. Stop holding it back. The universe has a weird way. Is it the universe or God or whoever you believe in, has a weird way of responding to us. That saying, I'm ready for it, it just comes into your life. And the opportunities to study just come. And you just find yourself, oh, what was I waiting for? And you'll just be amazed by how life can suddenly just change. So allow it to come to your life. I have maybe the last question before. Let me see if there's any other question. What would you tell your younger self? What would you tell your younger self?
My younger self.
Yeah.
It's okay to dream and plan,
Yes.
but always allow yourself to change your mind without feeling guilty. That's what I'll tell my younger self.
Great, without feeling guilty. Because you can change your time, you can change your mind anytime, because life can take any direction, any moment. So if you are free to change your mind, it's good. At the end of the day, it is what you want that will later come into your life. Anything else? Maybe something else I've forgotten that you'd like to share? I'm so happy. I'm so happy learning so much.
So yeah, maybe with that advice to younger self, that the hurdles and delays, the detours, they don't necessarily mean you are not growing. They're a step towards what you are destined for. You won't miss it if it's yours.
They are so important. Those detours take us to the skills that we need in the next level. Sometimes we don't have those skills. So you find that you're taken into a direction and you keep wondering, why am I moving into this direction? I was not meant to be in this direction, but it is what you need. In fact, even the delays that you have at times, it is because you are not yet ready and you need to build up some skills. And once you build those skills, then you find yourself in those places. That is really, really inspirational. So much. Wow. That's so much in less than 30 minutes or 40 minutes. We're learning so much. But I'm glad that you are seeing every opportunity positively. You are allowing it to happen into your life. And you are also letting these opportunities grow you and grow your skills, because a lot of people get like such offers. Your friend calls you, let's go do this. And you're like, I've never done that. What's that? I can't get in there. Oh no, those security guys, no, it's a man's thing. Let them do. Yeah, I think those challenging moments build you. They really build you. They build the greatness that you have that you've never discovered, because sometimes we have to be shaken into some really weird challenges that we ourselves maybe don't understand, but they are meant to be in our lives because they make us reveal who we truly are. So I believe that all this happened because it had to bring the personality you were. It had to show you, because through those experiences, you are able to discover yourself. You'd otherwise not have discovered yourself if you didn't go through all that. And I'm happy that you got time to share with us. We have learned so much from your experience, and we know that from your experience, others are being inspired. And I believe that the next time we'll be speaking, you'll be a manager somewhere, if not a leader somewhere. And we are glad that you are able to see and to allow that to come into your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.